The Valve Steam Deck just came in, and today we're going to talk about it. So I have been waiting for this for about a month. My birthday has since passed, but essentially my wife was like, you got a choice. You can either get the new Nintendo Switch OLED, that's the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet version, or you can get the Steam Deck. Now look. I love the Nintendo Switch as much as the next guy. I love the Switch. I have a huge library on the Switch. I almost play this thing exclusively. But there are some games that I can't play on this. And I was like, the new Switch is really, really cool. The new OLED's fantastic. I'm really excited for Scarlet and Violet. But the new Steam Deck, I can play some games that I don't have access to. And that sounded really cool to me. So I told her, I'm like, you know what? I thought about it. I kind of want the Steam Deck. So we put in the order. It's been probably about 2-3 weeks. This thing finally came in today. And I thought we would unbox it together and see what's up with this thing. Now, I have marked out my address. It's on this side of the box, so you can't see it. But I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up and we'll see what it's all about. Apparently I had to open it from that end, just because that's how it works. Okay, attention. Plug in, power on. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. I forgot. Oh, snap. I forgot. I was like, it's not this big, is it? No, I forgot. The version we ordered actually came with a case. And so, this thing is huge. We don't talk about it. But it says here, your games are going places. I love that. So one of the things that I talk about with my friends all the time whenever I'm talking about why I play the Switch versus something like the Xbox or the PlayStation 4, we don't talk about it, is because I can take it places. I love being able to take my Switch places with me. I don't like having to pack up a huge console and controllers and everything, so for my Switch it's really easy. I forgot, this thing actually comes with a case, as you can see here. It's pretty cool. This thing is huge though. It's got the little Valve ticket right here. It's all velvety and smooth on top. It's pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but it's got like a pouch back here. Pretty interesting. Not quite sure what that's about. So it essentially comes with this. It's in the case already. So inside of the little box is the USB-C charger. Pretty much you can see it right there. Works for everything. There's a little instruction manual as well. But this is what I want to really get into today. Everybody knows it comes with a charger, or else how are you going to play it? Instruction booklets are cool, but yeah. Holy crap, man. That's nuts. That thing is, oh my gosh. Let me turn this around here so you can see it. But essentially, it fits right in this case. Like it's massive compared to like anything else that's this size. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's not bad. It's super comfortable. I like the buttons on the controller. They're very relaxed. The B is kind of falling off. That's a little weird. I don't exactly love that. I'm curious what these two pad things are for. I don't know what that's about, but that should be interesting. It's got a Steam button and a home button and a D-pad here. Interesting. Oh, sick. You got the Valve logo on the back. But then you've also got these 4 buttons back here as well. It's super comfortable. It's lighter than I thought it would be, which is kind of crazy. Ooh, okay. They're a little, I don't know how to describe it. The triggers are very responsive, very comfortable. It feels good. Like just having it in your hands feels extremely good. The joysticks are very reflective. They almost have that like little bit of concave to them. I don't know if I could show it on my camera because my camera's kind of crappy, but essentially like it's like normally when it sits really flat, it's kind of got like that to it, so that your thumbs and things stick to it just a little better. Very, very nice, very comfortable. My camera for this is kind of terrible, or at least the angle is. But essentially, if I put these two like side by side here, like the screen size is the same, but the like Joy-Cons are dwarfed by this bigger thing. Not to mention, but like on the size, like horizontally, vertically, I don't know what you want to call it. Like you can tell the Steam Deck is bigger, but not by much. Not by much. It's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how this thing does. But we're gonna go ahead and power it up, see how it does. We'll play around with it for a minute, and we'll get back to you. This thing should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about this. So, it's been a few days. It's been a few days since I powered this thing on and tried to get it going. But I gotta say, I'm kind of addicted to it. I'm kind of addicted to it. We're gonna get into some details. There's some stuff that I like, some stuff that I don't like. But yeah, it's been a few days since I recorded that first video. And so today we're gonna actually get into the meat of the system, how we like it, how everything works, what games work well for it, as far as I can tell, and we'll go from there. So when I opened up the Steam Deck the first time, I was pleasantly greeted with joysticks that were super responsive, controls that worked extremely well, and 2 like track pads that I didn't know what to do with. Apparently, these things are for when you don't want to go through Steam. You can actually open up a Chrome browser or like an internet browser in the Steam Deck. It's like a mini computer. It's pretty cool. And so you can use those. You can use those in some of these games, but for the most part, that's what you're going to want to use those for. The triggers were super responsive. I loved like it just feels good. Like saying that something feels good sounds weird in a video because you gotta experience it to know, but it's comfortable. The Steam Deck in and of itself is just comfortable. It's a joy to experience. And that's something when you're considering, I play a lot of Switch games. And when you're using the Joy-Cons, it almost feels like my hand is cramping sometimes because I've got decently sized hands, and they will just cramp when it comes to having to deal with them for so long. The Steam Deck is super comfortable. Like it's bigger. It's made for bigger hands. It feels more like a controller, and so it's super responsive. I haven't had any issues with button delay or anything like that while playing this thing either. I've been playing a lot of different games on this thing. I went ahead and tried a bunch out so I could see what works, what doesn't work. And that's where we'll get to my first, I don't want to say complaint, but first concern. The first concern that I have is there are certain games that are not optimized for the Steam Deck. There are certain games that are playable on the Steam Deck but not optimized. And then there are games that are optimized for the Steam Deck. So I've tried to play a bunch of different titles to see what works, see what does the best, and kind of give you some feedback on what I played as well. So the first game, and you knew it was coming, we had to play Elden Ring. Elden Ring is probably my game of the year. I know God of War hasn't come out yet, and I know people they're really excited about that game. But Elden Ring it's huge, it's beautiful, it's a Dark Souls game, so it's challenging, which I enjoy. But there's a ton to say about Elden Ring. If you haven't played it, go play it. But while running on the Steam Deck, I can honestly say it ran better than when I played it on Steam. And that's saying something. When I was on Steam, occasionally there would be a frame rate drop or a frame rate skip or something like that. On the Steam Deck, nothing. Seamless. I could swap between everything just fine, no issues, even in some of the most intensive areas, like the opening footsteps in the game. You go out into this big open area, there are trees blowing, there's a giant tree in the background with leaves falling off of it, like big buildings in the background. Everything was rendering correctly. It was gorgeous. I didn't have to adjust the resolution at all. It ran seamlessly. Elden Ring is optimized for the Steam Deck. It's fantastic, but it is optimized. The games that are optimized for the Steam Deck, I have had zero issues with. This system has been fantastic with their optimized games. I have also been playing some Spider-Man, which we'll get into here in just a minute. But my wife has even been playing this. She's been playing Stardew and Slime Rancher on this thing, and she's been having a blast with it as well. So there are a bunch of games that you can pick from. If you do buy this, though, do not expect to have the entirety of the Steam, like, website or Steam app. Like, if you have 1,000 games on the Steam application on your computer, like, you're not gonna have all of those games on the Steam Deck. You can try, but some of them are probably not gonna work. I did try a few more games. I did try Monster Hunter World because I love Monster Hunter. My most played Switch game is Monster Hunter Rise. I haven't completed World yet. I've been playing through it on Steam, and I really wanted to see how it would do on this. And if you haven't played Monster Hunter World, it's pretty intense. The environment is big, it's huge. There's a lot of stuff that pops in, pops out from time to time. And I'm sad to say, Monster Hunter has an issue where it's kind of like if there are too many things trying to load into your game at one time, one part starts clipping out, and the longer you leave it, the more stuff that goes around it, the worse it gets. I tried probably 4 times to complete one hunt, and I barely got through it the last time with lower graphical settings. I had lowered it down like 2 or 3 times. Some games will be like that. Some games you won't have a good time with, but there are a ton of other games that you can probably have an amazing time with. That being said, all the controls were responsive up until that issue got too bad. The one thing I will say is certain games, like Elden Ring, I did have an issue when it first launched, where it kept me on a white screen. Apparently, it's a common issue fix for this. And the one thing I will say about the Steam Deck and its community is they've been super nice online. There's a huge, like, if you have any problem, you can pretty much Google it. There's a whole page on, like, common Steam Deck fixes, which I'll probably put in the description in this video. So if you're having issues, Google it. Find out, see what you can learn, because everybody and their brother has been playing this thing and trying to learn all the little ins and outs. I will say that the home system, or the home menu for Steam, has been very responsive. It's pretty cool. They have all kinds of different things. And I will say this. When you are looking at games to purchase for your Steam Deck, they have a system to tell you which games are optimized, which games are playable, and which games are not optimized. Essentially, when you're in the game screen, you will see either a like gray X, you will see a yellow exclamation point, or you will see a green check mark. The X is for games that are not optimized. There's a bunch of them. I believe, if you didn't know, right now you can get Vermintide 2. It's like Warhammer Vermintide 2 for free. It's not, I believe it's not optimized for the Steam Deck. There's a bunch of games, such as Monster Hunter World, that are optimized for the Steam Deck, which will have that yellow exclamation point, which says it's playable, but like I said, you got to test some of these out. See how well they do. If they don't do well, you might have to just not. You also have the games that are optimized, and they will have that green check mark. There's also a bunch of different things. So like certain games you have to log in on, such as games with like EA. So like if you need to log into EA to play those, I had a hard time getting the keyboard to stay up. And so for those kind of games, like you might have to try a workaround for those. It's one of those things where this system hasn't been out for super long. There's a lot of games that are really fantastic on here. I've seen people play Jedi Fallen Order. I've seen people play Red Dead 2. Both of those games work really well on here. One game that I tried that's not optimized, but it is playable, is Halo Infinite. Because I play a lot of Halo Infinite multiplayer. And that game was fantastic. I've had zero issues running that game. It really makes me want to get the campaign, try it out on the Steam Deck, see how it does as well. But you're going to have to play around with what kind of games you want on here and what will work well. But if you already own it and you own a PC, you can always play it on Steam too. That's not to say that it won't be fixed in the future either. I know there's a lot of games to where, like, if it says it's not optimized, they do have a system in place where it will notify you that they're trying to work on these. Now, how fast they are working on these, I don't know. Now, I will say this as well. I bought the 65 gigabyte Steam Deck. And if you know anything about video games, most of your bigger games are more than 65 gigabytes. And so if you're worried about storage and you're worried about that being a price point for you, actually right here in the bottom is a little tiny place. I'll even try to zoom it in there. If it'll zoom, we'll see. But right in the bottom there's a little port where you can actually upgrade your storage with a micro SD card. And so I went before we got mine. I knew it was on there. I went before I got mine. I went to Walmart, paid $50, got 400 gigabytes that I could throw on here. So it just upgrades your storage so you can hold more games. So if you are worried about there being a storage issue or not have enough room for games, you can modify and upgrade that. Now, as far as controllers go, we have gotten a dock. I didn't get the official dock because the official dock is $90 and I'm on a budget, just like anybody is. We got an off-brand dock, and it's kind of surprising because I can actually use Bluetooth and connect my Pro controller to it. Now, for a person who plays Switch games, for a person who does this, if you don't know, the Steam Deck is modified to go off of like an Xbox model control scheme. So you see how it says X, Y, B, and A. I want you to look really hard and really close at where those positions are, because they will change for you when you switch to a different kind of controller, such as a Pro controller. So if you're on Switch a lot like I am, you can look at this and you can literally go, okay, I see the difference here. Because if you're looking at this, the control scheme is backwards. So your A and B are swapped and your X and your Y are swapped. And so when you're playing Spider-Man and you've gotten used to how the Steam Deck runs, but you're like, oh, the battery's low and I want to plug it up to a dock and I want to plug it in and I want to use my Pro controller, your controls are going to switch. It will tell you what kind of control scheme it's working on, but you can adjust this. The other cool part about this is it's not just limited to the Pro controller. You can use a PlayStation controller. Like I have an old PS4 controller that I used on this thing. It's pretty cool. I believe you can use Xbox controllers, PlayStation 5 controllers. So if you have those available and you've gotten used to those and you like the way they play, you can use them via Bluetooth on this thing. It's pretty cool. I learned a lot about like how to work Bluetooth. Speaking of Bluetooth, I've got some Raycons. You can plug those bad boys in. Use those if you want to keep the noise down. Let's say you're going out somewhere. The only issue that I would have going out somewhere, your brightness on your screen, if you didn't get like the biggest version of this thing, might not be the greatest thing. It's kind of like you still get that glare back. And so you might want to be indoors. If you're outdoors in the sun, it's probably not going to be optimized, but at the same time, like, you're on the go anyways. You probably aren't going to be playing for that long, so it might not be that big a deal. The only other thing that I really have to say about this thing is I'm pretty impressed. Some of your bigger games, it does have an internal fan. It will turn on, and it can be a little noisy. It's not super, super bad, but you can hear it. But if you're using your Raycons or you're using your earphones, hey, you won't hear a thing. So it's kind of cool. There's a lot to enjoy on this system. I'm pretty surprised by it. Considering I play on Switch a lot, I'm used to how the Switch plays. I'm used to being on the go mobily. But now being able to take bigger games like Halo or freaking, there's God of War. You can play God of War on this thing. Spider-Man, Elden Ring, like any of these games, you can take with you. They'll be optimized. They're big, they're long, and it's pretty cool because you can play these big, expansive games that are made for like PS5 and Xbox, but you can play them on the go. You can play them on the train, on the subway, in your car, on a long trip, on an airplane, anywhere you want to go. It's pretty fantastic. I'm excited to see what games are coming up. I was looking into it because I've played Spider-Man on here. I've played some Elden Ring. I'm really excited because Miles Morales is coming to the Steam Deck, and that's a game that I haven't played yet, but I'm really excited to play. It's pretty cool. I'll be testing out some more features. You might see some updates. If you're following my TikTok or if you're following my Instagram, I usually do shorts and reels on there. So you can go check those out. I'll have the description for those in, or I'll have the link to those in the description if you want to go check those out. I usually post a lot of Nintendo stuff too, as well. But as far as like everything goes, it's pretty impressive. I'm really excited about this thing. I'm really excited to get some more games on it. Because like I said, I do live on a budget. But it's pretty cool, and I hope this review helped you guys. If you were on the fence about getting it, I would look at the game list first of all, and make sure that there are games you're gonna play on this thing that are optimized. I would do some research, look at some reviews of people who have Steam Decks who are looking at certain games on this thing, see what they think about the game, how well it runs, see if people have workarounds for problems if there are problems. But otherwise, like, it's really good. It's really good. Valve knocked it out of the park with this system. I really hope that they keep going with this, keep optimizing games, because I really want some more games on this thing. There's a lot to love about this system, and I'm here for it. It's going to be exciting. It's only been officially out for not too long. I think it's like 5 or 6 months. There was like a beta test or a pre-order thing that you could do. That was kind of cool, but it hasn't been out here for very long, so more games will come, I'm sure. I'm just hoping that they keep up with it and still stay strong. But if you did like this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Let me know what you think about the Steam Deck. Let me know if there's a certain type of game that you guys would like to see gameplay of. Because I do want to try and stream this thing to Twitch at some point. Maybe even make a few videos for YouTube. I want to try this dock, see the limitations of it, see what we can do with it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next video.